Welcome to Bold Talks series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Isak Marais, Co-Founder CEO of AICA. Isaac, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Well, in you, Epi. Thank you very much for the intro.
Well, good seeing you, and looking forward to this discussion. So, Isak, you built AICA around agentic AI for product data intelligence. What was the pivotal insight that led you to this opportunity, and what early decision proved most crucial to your success?
I think, well, it started many years ago, but technology only sort of caught up. And in 2020, I sat on my veranda, and one of the challenges that I've always had is product data in the MRO space and the volumes of it and the silos. And the problem that I wanted to address is, in the olden days, you had film cameras and you take pictures, 12 exposure, 24, 36, that's scarcity. Nowadays, we've got digital cameras and the volume of pictures or data, product data that's created becomes a challenge. And I wanted to resolve that. So 2020, that was the start of ChatGPT. I think they weren't really out, although conceptually we thought about it. But since then, the tools have changed, the technology have changed tremendously. And it's really only in the last, well, we built our AI models or our algorithms based on specific data that we trained them on, and that gave us the accuracy. But in the last 6 to 8 months, AI agents or agentic AI came to the fold, and that just provides such immense power to the whole process. And that's why we say we focus on accuracy, speed, and cost efficiency. So that's really the big thing.
Nice. So as a CEO, how do you balance visionary thinking with day-to-day execution? When you look at, for example, what's going on every single day, there's a new shiny thing. There's lots of things are moving very fast. How do you keep that balance?
Well, first of all, obviously, one has to research and keep on researching and reading a lot. We get a lot of input from our partners globally. We now operate on 5 continents. So we get that input, but then also just keeping to the basics. It's very easy when a new technology comes out where people say, let's just jump on the bandwagon and do this. In our case, if you look at AI agents, there's a lot of companies that offer the technology, but it's very much focused on what they do. We design our own. So if we can't design our own and if we can't prove that there's going to be a real benefit, we just don't touch it. So a very conservative approach, but still keeping with the market and ensuring that we don't go into 500 different directions, but with a focused approach. And I think that's why in our category, we stay ahead of the market.
Nice.
I-
Now, when you see like where does a human role comes in here, right? Uh, where AI and the humans, like we're seeing right now, there's still a lot of room for humans to play that important role. But with the things that are moving so fast, are we going to see that AI will no longer take our prompt and just do as they?
yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to give you two cases. The one is our ICA AI navigator that we use to do research, where we take all publicly available information of a company and then model different solutions to them and sort of a forward-looking ROI strategy. And in essence, it fulfills the role that 50 senior consultants from the top consulting companies would take months to compile all that data. We do that now in a very short period of time. But still, the input and the questions and the quality control, it gets to 85, 90%, but there is a form of hallucination. Now, if you're not skilled enough, you are not going to pick it up and you're going to put that out into the market. The human is always required in this process. And this is from sort of our AI navigator perspective. If I look at product data cleansing and enrichment, we were able to get to sort of a quality standard, or let's say accuracy level, of up to 80% using AI and agentic AI. The challenge is some items are so badly explained that even the AI can't classify or clean it properly. And that's why we develop some additional tools to assist. Will the human always be in the loop? Absolutely. Yeah, I can't see that the human will be left out. You always need a subject matter expertise in the process. And I think a rule of thumb, if you're good at what you do and you use AI, you're going to get better. If you're bad at what you do, you're just going to create some more bad stuff.
Yeah. But if I may, okay, just think about this for a moment, right? So Elon Musk Neuralink, where you can just purchase that, you can just purchase that knowledge, and
Yeah.
and where are we going to fit there between that knowledge that you can just purchase it versus someone who's got this knowledge that has been, you know, uh, learning throughout whole entire life. How that's going to play, which knowledge we're going to take. Are we going to take Neuralinks knowledge, or someone who doesn't have a Neuralink knowledge?
So, you know, put that into perspective. And I think the easiest way to explain that, if you get somebody that has a doctorate degree in whatever field, the one person will excel and the other person will not excel. Although they've got the same education and exposure uh, to knowledge, it is the one with innovation that and creativity that will go ahead. So you can have the Neuralink, you can have a lot of different things. If you do not have creativity uh, and innovation, you can't take it further. And that's really where the gap comes in.
So
And as
you're
I
saying that the creativity part is something that AI will not replace a human.
mentioned, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I agree with you, but I think there's another step further that maybe probably it has AI will have a capability to have variations with creativity. But I think one thing that is it's always going to lack, which I something I learned from one of those leadership symposia, was about the we're talking about the digital transformation, like the leaders of a digital transformation, and we're talking about what makes you a transformational leader. And so, he was saying that today's transformation leader is someone who is also situational leader. But in order for you to be a situational leader, uh, you need to have not just the EQ and IQ, but you got to have also the spiritual IQ. That was really amazing. And I think that the spiritual IQ AI will never get that. That's what I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, that's why you get people, one is an entrepreneur, the other one, they've got the same exposure,
Yeah.
but the other one's not an entrepreneur. So AI won't bridge that gap. What it would do is to provide the entrepreneur with more tools and knowledge to be able to do his job more efficiently, and the other person with some other tools that's more situated to their environment.
Yeah. Yeah. So that spiritual quote, and it's so so important that we as a human we possess it, and I don't think a lot of people are tapping into it, right? And so I think that's a huge opportunity that we can we can we can use that in our own advantage, and make it a great way working with these tools of AI. Now, talk about talk about teams and culture in innovation. How do you maintain a culture of innovation without compromising on the precision and trust of your clients expect? Uh, from talking about the data that you have in the company, um, today we're living in days where uh, privacy is a huge part of companies that are taking it really seriously, but it's a really a gray area right now. So how do you maintain that culture of innovation within team that
Yeah.
you're not compromising it?
Yeah. So I'm very fortunate that I've, through the years been involved in innovation projects, and our company's got quite a few innovation awards. The I think the foundational side for innovation and to cultivate innovation is not to have a, what do you call it? If you've got to look over somebody's shoulder the whole time, and you don't allow them to think, that there can't be any innovation. If they're waiting for instructions the whole time, that deep corporate environment, you don't allow them. There's so many rules and regulations. They can't. The level of innovation is lower. I actually um, wrote a paper on the hierarchy of the firm and transaction cost, and really the movement of information within the firm. Transaction cost economics is a well-known economic discipline.
Mm.
But I believe for us, that's always been the key: allowing people to think, allowing people to take decisions, and they fit in or they don't fit in. In our environment, it's very important to think on your feet the whole time, because there's no specific roadmap. It's not that you can say, okay, this specific road is the road that you've got to follow to get to your final destination. Sometimes you've got to take a couple of side roads.
Yeah. So if I'm if I'm translating this well, alignment is it's super important for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
That-
our team is dispersed. So, we don't have in office. We meet one another several occasions in a year. So a lot of the meetings is online.
yeah.
It becomes more challenging, I believe, the larger the organization becomes, because then coordination is much harder.
Yeah.
But that's why, require from the team that we are able to think on our own and not necessarily be driven by waiting for somebody else to take a decision.
Yeah. Great. So, where do you get inspired, and where do you keep up with the trends? Like, is there a forum, is there summits that you go to, or a book that you read? Um,
So I'm fortunate that I get invited to different forums where I can speak and where I can listen, um, and expos, and a lot of how can I say, online research. But I must say the most value I get through having discussions with thought leaders, and there's quite a few people that I rank very highly in my private network, um, that I can sort of pose questions to. But then also, in nature, when I go and mountain bike, you get clarity of thought. You don't have all the noise of an office or screens around you, and then spiritual guidance as well from faith.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, throwing yourself out there in nature is the way to go, right? Um,
Yeah,
God's creation. Um,
absolutely.
Now, what does a word bold mean to you?
Bold,
Yeah,
go, go.
go.
You, you just go. Don't wait for things to happen. You take bold steps, and
Amazing.
and 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 that's what we do. We take bold steps because, as I said, we in very uncharted territory that we go in the whole time. If we wait too long, we're going to lose the opportunity. Uh, but it's also a way, if you don't make mistakes, boldness is also about making mistakes. You can't learn if you don't make a mistake. You have to make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a process, right? And so you got to be comfortable with that process. And I like that, like just go. It's a way to wrap yourself in it, and don't worry about like what can happen next. I ask this question all the time from a different people, so I get a different perspective. But what's something I learned about the about being bold? To me, it's about truly enable to of course do a calculated risk, but in the same time, nothing comes from worries, right?
Yeah.
If you keep worrying about like what's going to happen tomorrow, my pastor in Singapore always tells us that be aware of the two robbers of the day, yesterday and tomorrow. So
Yeah.
go is like what I really like resonate with you, because go, it's on a now. It's like if you don't live in a now, you're really not bold enough. So that's how I see it. But it's like great seeing you. Thank you for joining me in this Bold Talk series. Looking forward to another great conversation, maybe more in depth about the work that you're doing, more like a longer format. But meantime, I wish you great success. Take care, be great, and be bold always.
Thanks, Epi. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to it.